So, let's talk about the Doctor Who Series 30. Yeah, the thing is, viewers will pop back in the second the stream's back up. Always happens. Anyway, alright, right, okay. So, going through this kind of shot by shot. So the first shot, we got Jodie Whittaker, 13th Doctor, sonic screwdriver, zap in the sky. I heard a joke about this being like the end of the series finale, like this big moment being fixed by the sonic screwdriver. Very funny joke. Actually could be genuinely real. Looking at the setting, it looks a little bit like the Sontaran plane, like maybe the Crimean War thing with a hillside, but I also could be very, very wrong with that. A lot of this could also be hillsidey stuff. Because they filmed a lot of this in Cardiff and Wales area this year, it's not necessarily going to look too different. So this, standing in a field, could be not the first or second episode with the Sontarans in the Crimean War. This could be something totally different. But there we go. That's my prediction. This looks to be the Weeping Angel episode. There's a character here who's an old woman that's an old creepy kind of house. There seems to be a sort of house creepy kind of setting for the Weeping Angel episode as well, so I'm going to say that's that. That maybe Mary Sequel, I'm not really sure. Definitely Crimean War though, because it matches the shot right after of the Doctor with Dan and Yaz, and you can kind of see the TARDIS in the background as well. You can see the little orange light behind Jodie's head of the TARDIS, which is seen later on when she's running over bodies from the Crimean War. So that's cool, I guess. You got the shot of Yaz, period clothing, could be the Weeping Angel episode, maybe. There's a historical. There's the one of Dan in the cage, which was seen like after Revolution of the Daleks, nothing new. This is a very interesting shot. Now, I don't really know what to think about this, but I saw a tweet. This tweet could be a joke, but I don't know. I'm genuinely getting a vibe here that it looks like there's Sontaran ships being built in like an industrial. There's a fly there. Did anyone see that? Fucking hell. Oh, if the bastard's on land, then I'm going to try and hit it. Hang on. Oh, shit. Oh, you fucker. I think I missed it. Right, that's behind there for now in case it arrives again. But yeah, this looks like Sontaran ships being built in Liverpool, maybe? Like an industrial city kind of thing. It looks like it's Earth because you can see the lights in the background of like a cityscape, which is very interesting. So my theory for this is either the Sontarans have invaded a long time ago and they've been building up an army in the modern day, secretly underground in these sort of bunker things, or this starts... Everyone's kicking off about me trying to kill a fly. There's a fly, it was distracting me, I want to just splat it. I can't really get a fly out of the room because it just sort of fucks about. And for this exact reason, I'm trying to break down the bloody trailer and I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. Right. Yeah, so that's either they've sort of like landed on Earth a long time ago and have waited and built up an army before they sort of properly invade, use Earth as sort of a hotspot opposed to actually invading Earth. Either that, or it's like history's changed. So the Doctor arrives in modern day, the Sontarans are sort of taken over, they're a part of life, and the Doctor has like, what, this isn't normal, and has to go back to the Crimean War to discover why the Sontarans came to Earth in the first place, how they invaded, and why they're staying here, why they're just chilling out amongst humans like the Zygons did. Maybe it's something like that. Like the Sontarans have changed history, and the Doctor has to go back to the Crimean War to work out why and stop it before it, changes history for good. This lends into a lot of ideas about the series. It's a very big, grandiose kind of thing. A lot of people have even talked about multiverse stuff. So using two separate timelines of Earth here, with the Sontaran-owned future, and then changing that past again, both ways, could be a quite interesting story. I could be totally, totally wrong, but I love that idea of the Sontarans landing in the Crimean War, winning a battle, and taking over the Earth, but just living amongst them, enslaving humanity and getting them to build their ships and use Earth as like a battleship to conquer space or defeat the Rutons or whatever they want to do in the modern day. The Doctor and Yaz arrive, they see Sontarans knocking about, and they're like, what the fuck? So then they go back to work out why that happened, and then there's the Crimean War story, which explains why the Sontarans are in the modern day and the Crimean War, and then also could link into timelines and multiverse stuff if they really want to go into that. But that's my personal little theory based off that one shot. There's something that seems to be melting, some sort of skeleton here, which is quite interesting. It looks to be one of the weird-looking people we see later on in the trailer. So that's interesting. Shot of Geordie of the TARDIS, nothing too interesting. I'm a little bit iffy about the lighting, though. The lighting here is very dark and dingy, a bit like Series 11, and I quite liked the lighter approach to Series 12 and how the TARDIS looked there. The mixes of the blues and the bright orange, opposed to it being like a dark cave-like orange from Series 11, which was, in my opinion, the less superior design. There's a shot of the TARDIS flying through something that I have no idea what that is. I think we're going to just play about this trailer like at really low speeds here, I think, as well. So we've got the Doctor there. There's you cannot make out anything there, really, can you? There's like a thing, whatever the fuck that is. It literally could be. It could be like ships. It could be one big ship. It could be literally, it could be a big rock. It could be anything. Like, I don't know what that could be. This is an actor who has been in a lot of stuff. This looks like a historical. Big manor in the background. Big open grassy pitch. Historical. I'm guessing Weeping Angel episode maybe. Fingers crossed, because that'd be a great aesthetic for it. He's been in loads of stuff. He's been in Four Lions, and I think he was recently in Bandersnatch as well, the Black Mirror episode. Can't remember the actor's name, but he's pretty good. He's a good comedic actor, from what I find as well, from what I've seen him in anyway. But he's in that. You've got this actress here, who I believe is in the first episode. I might be totally wrong here, but there was some footage from Cardiff that I remember seeing somewhere online, where the Doctor and Yaz arrive, and this woman approaches them and talks to them outside the TARDIS, like in a sort of modern day, street time, night. I think this might be that character. So maybe someone who's related to Yaz in a sort of personal way, maybe a friend, maybe someone who knows who they are and is trying to help, or someone who doesn't like them is trying to not help, whatever. That's my theory for this person. Someone they know, someone who's going to appear in the first episode. This guy's great. This is what's his name? It begins with a K. Fuck, what's it called again now? I'm annoyed at myself because I should know what this guy's name is. Call myself a Doctor Who YouTuber, but yeah, I don't actually. Let's have a look. He's called Carvenista. That's what his name is. Carvenista. So that's this guy. He, I think, appears. I don't know when he appears. I don't know. Probably not episode 1 or 2, maybe. But maybe he does. Maybe he does appear in episode 1. I don't know. Maybe he's involved with this sort of major story here. But it's kind of cool. A lot of people have made connections to the Garm from Time Lash, is it called? I haven't seen it, so I don't really know. But they're the Garm, a classic Who alien species that look like ancient dogs. But this guy looks really cool. Love him. He's got like a big axe thing, and him and the Doctor definitely meet at one point because one of the promo pictures is with him and Geordie having it off with the Sonic and the axe. Never mind, I was going to hit the fly, but it's flown off again. Great prosthetic work. A lot of people are saying this looks a bit shit, but I think this looks really good, actually. I think this looks great. This is fantastic prosthetic work. Depending on how the mouth moves, obviously. A lot of people saying this is a unit officer. I really hope so. The uniform is very similar to that of a unit officer. Terminus, not Time Lash. Is it Terminus? Terminus then. Sorry, my bad. See, there's where my classic Who knowledge just falls apart because I haven't seen it. But there we go. I love this actor. He's been in a few things. He was in Red Dwarf, and he is also. Oh, I fucking shit myself. But thank you very much for following. I think that's someone following the Twitch, I think, which is linked in the description below. Forgot to mention that. We do stream on Twitch a bit more. I say regularly, we don't really do it too often anymore because I'm so busy at the minute. But whenever we do stream, usually it's on Twitch. So if you want to see more content from me, feel free to follow my Twitch, GB Sheard, linked in the description below. Thank you to that person for scaring the shit out of me, but also thank you for following. This guy's a great actor. He's in Cold Feet, he was in Red Dwarf. And if he is a unit officer, a new unit officer, a recurring unit officer, I will be very, very happy. That'll be great. The unit officer uniform, it looks very similar to this. Yeah. Okay, this is a great shot. So we've got Sontaran in the background, as you can see. There's a Sontaran in the background holding what looks to be a very similar but kind of new Sontaran gun there. We've got a white horse in the Crimean War era, and we've got a new designed Sontaran standing on a horse, taking his helmet off, and you can see a little bit of the actor's sleeve under there, which I quite like his actual skin. This looks amazing. I will never stop saying this. This is by far my favourite Sontaran design. It's gritty, the armour's like battered to fuck. He looks better, he looks intimidating, he looks creepy. The thing about the classic Sontarans is, yes, they always were a bit naff, they were always a bit of a joke, they were never that serious. But I loved them for what they were, and the fact that they were a bit cheesy, but still kind of felt imposing, and had some sort of threat level to them. Whenever the Doctor encountered them, there was a sort of feeling of, oh, now this is something I need to really think about. Sontaran Experiment is notoriously a bit shit, but I love it. I think it's a great episode, and I think the prosthetic work, even in that era, is absolutely fantastic. Now, I do like the Sontarans in New Who, but they haven't really been done too well. I feel like the Sontaran Stratagem and Poison Sky, they were good stories, but the design and aesthetic of the Sontarans really wasn't my cup of tea. I think the new design, although more realistic and sort of more expressionate with the face, is far too smooth and baby-like. It always felt a bit weird. I didn't like the blue colour. I never liked the blue colour. And I wasn't really too keen. And I think, as much as I love Dan Starkey, who played the Sontaran, of course Strax, as well as a few other notable actors, it did always feel a bit weird and not something that I was entirely keen on as a design choice. Even back then, I never really loved the Sontarans. I always thought they looked a bit goofy and a bit too silly. Whereas I look at this and I feel that, okay, this guy is a soldier. This guy is like a commander. He is like exactly what the Sontarans kind of say about themselves. They're warmongers. They are a race of clones who go out and just fight whoever the fuck they want. They are silly, they are cheesy, but they are a bit creepy as well. And what the New Who design always lacked was a bit of that classic, like, horrible look about them with the prosthetics. And this manages to make it look a lot more classic, but also new and refreshing. Weirdly, this to me is my favourite Sontaran design. It's incredible. I really, really love what they did with this. I think it's brilliant. I really, really do. The Ood is back, or an Ood is back. I think... Sorry, apologies. I think this... I think this Ood kind of thing, I think this is going to be a cameo. And I'll say this again with the Cybermen in a minute, but I think the Ood is going to be more of a cameo and appear in an episode, opposed to it being like the main monster of the episode or something. Because the Ood haven't been the main monster or alien of the episode since Series 4. I don't see it happening anytime soon. They've appeared in so many episodes since, but only as sort of background things. But then we said the same about the Jadoon, and we got Fugitive last year, so maybe the Ood are a big thing of one of the stories this year. That would be kind of cool. I'd like to see what they could do with the Ood, a monster that was introduced all the way back in Series 2, so that's quite impressive, actually. Not really sure about the backdrop here, can't really work out anything from it. It looks like a spaceship. That looks like a plant in the background there. So maybe it's some sort of like habitat ship with loads of people on it. The Ood is serving. The eyes look bigger on the Ood, as you probably noticed already. I quite like the new redesign. I think the Ood always looked a bit weird and strange anyway. This just adds into that, this slight little tweak in the design. Yeah. You got Jodie and Mand up here hanging upside down. A lot of people said this CGI looks bad and the green screen looks bad. Yeah, it's a bit obviously green screen. There's not really much going on, but I'd hope this was only for one shot and just the rest of it, because the rest of this sequence looks really good. This planet has a lot of flying shit going on, like loads of little spaceships flying past, a lot of green. There is a release date yet. It's on the 31st of October this year, so Halloween. Yeah, so you've got... Someone said in the chat it could be Vinder's Ood. That's really interesting. I'd love to see a new character who has like an Ood that sort of keeps him company. That's really an interesting idea. Again, bringing past old and new, really combining it, making Doctor Who feel like a complete universe, and I like that. This planet, not really sure about. It could be anything really. I don't mind it. But I feel like this sequence is gonna be like a sort of cold open. To Series 13. I feel like because this is just Yaz and the Doctor, unless Dan's got his own little adventure going on, I feel like this is likely to be the opening scene for Doctor Who Series 13 or Doctor Who Flux before the main story starts with the Sontarans, Dan, and all that sort of thing in Liverpool. This looks like a little wacky little adventure, a bit like the opening to like Listen or Kill the Moon or something. Not Kill the Moon. But yeah, like Listen, where they're just sort of fucking about on loads of random adventures. It's good for the trailer because it goes, oh, look at this random planet that we only did one like shot of. But yeah. The background here is a very interesting one. A lot of people, so this was where one of the promo photos was taken. A lot of people said that was the seal of Rassilon on the floor, but actually, looking at it in here, you can't really see much in this shot. You see it there. Unless it's CGI, and very good CGI to replace all that, including the lighting and stuff, just for the trailer, I feel like it's definitely not the seal of Rassilon, unfortunately, and nothing to do with Gallifrey here. However, this does look to be similar to the Cyberman ship. We'll see in the next Cyberman shot, this looks very similar, walls and all that sort of thing. I feel like it could be very similar. Not too much else to say about that though. Something gets shot. It looks blue, so Cyberman, I'm guessing. Or a Dalek, but we're probably not at that point yet with Daleks. They're probably in the New Year's special. Two characters who we see later on in the trailer, Neil from The Inbetweeners, obviously, and the other new character who I'm not sure what their name is, sort of jumping away from something. There's another character down here in the background who you can see. So that's quite interesting as well. They jump down. It's sort of like a desert landscape. You can't really work out what that is though. This is Yaz reacting to something in a field, maybe the Weeping Angel episode, potentially, although I'm not really particularly sure, because I'll have to go back and check the opening clip. Yeah, could be the Weeping Angel episode, because the costumes don't match the episode of the Crimean War, so that's my guess, anyway. Maybe it's a different episode entirely, we can't really work that out. You've got a planet here being sort of taken over by some sort of swarm, which was something that Chris Chibnall mentioned. This could be the swarm, potentially, or maybe not, I don't know. Nothing really much to say there, it's a big, nice CGI shot. This is Vinder, the new character. You get a good look at his patch there on his arm. Not really sure what kind of language that is, whether that's been in Doctor Who before, but he looks like he's on his own little spaceship. I'm getting a little bit like Captain Jack vibes, almost, in the way that, like, in Series 1, he just sort of randomly appeared. He's like a time agent, he's got his own little ship, that sort of thing. So we had the title card, and then we got this shot on that green planet again. One of those little flying things exploding, some CGI shots of them falling through the air. Standard stuff for a big fancy trailer like this. Again, more stuff on the big green planet. Nothing really to break down there, though. This is interesting, the plane that they're using here, and the Doctor being by herself. Again, people are suggesting that there might be a Doctor Light, not a Doctor Light episode, but a Doctor standalone episode in this series, which personally I would very much like. Sort of Jodie's Heaven Sent, if you will. I'd love to see that. But yeah, we've got this new creature who I don't think looks very good. I think it looks a little bit naff. I think it's alright, it looks fine. No criticism to the production department, like, at all. I think they did a good job with what they were given and all that sort of thing, and probably the pitch that they were given. It looks very obviously like a mask, and yeah, it's cool, but I don't know, it looks a little bit too plasticky for me, like a Halloween mask. People are saying this is Sacha Dhawan's master, a crispy version of that master, and although the speech in the trailer actually does sound a little bit like him, I don't agree, to be honest. I don't think they will do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really particularly like that. Really, it's not something I like the idea. Oh, crispy master, whatever again, but it's like, let's not do this again. And also, he's got like a mate who looks almost exactly the same. So unless the master had a friend that we don't know about, yeah. A few people were saying it's the two characters who jumped over before. Where is it? I can't remember where it is. But there's obviously like a man and a woman, and this is also a man and a woman. So maybe they were part of that episode. Maybe that'd be kind of cool. Vinda on some sort of ship here with some things teleporting in, some new looking creatures. They look very interesting, a little bit scary, which I quite like. There's the female one of those creatures, similar sort of design, and I think they were in a poster together, so that would make a lot of sense. Closer shot of Neil from In Between as a character, talking to what looks like the girl. I think it's interesting again that they're showing the shots of these skeleton guys right next to the these two characters. Again, maybe could be them, but with the height difference, I'm not too sure. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. But yeah, some sort of general here. This is probably from the Crimean War Sontaran episode. A lot of people may be talking about this as being the Charge of the Light Brigade, which is a historical event and one of the biggest military flops in history, with a lot of soldiers going to just basically die. And it was kind of horrible and a bloodbath. Using the Sontarans in that could be interesting. Maybe this is part of it, but it lines up historically. Gorgeous, massive CGI shot here of like thousands of Sontarans and thousands of like British soldiers, I think. In the Crimean War, maybe it's Charge of the Light Brigade, we don't really know. The landscape looks great, and that just looks amazing with the Sontarans shooting at these people. It's fab. British flags everywhere, cannons, lasers. This is brilliant. This is exactly the kind of thing I want to see from Sontarans in the new series, so I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, really, really cool. Love that. This is a shot of the girl again who was with Neil from the Between. Oh god, I jumped a mile. Thanks for following. Another shot of the girl from that episode, I believe, or it could be a different character. I really don't know because we can't get a good look at her until there. That looks very much like green screen. It's either I think that probably is green screen because the lighting on the background and her face look very, very different. Which is a shame that it's that noticeable just from the shot in the trailer. But yeah, that's that, I guess. But maybe I'm wrong. It just looks like it. Character here from this sort of big manor kind of thing. Hoping this is the Weeping Angel episode again. I think it might be. Maybe it's a historical, or maybe it's sort of like just a possible modern day thing. This shot of the Weeping Angels is fab. I love seeing all the angels stood outside here. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. We've got Yaz here in the outfit that we saw earlier, historical. Again, in relation with the Weeping Angels, putting it back to back, almost implying that it could be the same episode. We've got the new Cybermen here from Series 12 coming in. Their heads look like they've been redesigned. A few people pointed this out. It doesn't look like it's one circle light anymore. It actually looks like 3 little dot lights, which is interesting, very reminiscent of the older Cyberman design with the sort of 4 gun holes in the head. So very reminiscent of that, very cool to see. I think with the Cybermen, and maybe even the Ood, I think it's one of those things that they're showing it in the trailer to go, hey, look at these monsters that are back. I don't think they're going to be the villain of the whole episode, like the Timeless Children, essentially the Cybermen. We've already had our Cyberman fix last series. I think what this is going to be is, this is going to be like some sort of cold open, some sort of cameo. Think the Cyberman in Series 5 defending the Pandorica. Like one scene, cool Cyberman shit, really, really good, and then back to the rest of the story. They're not that important. Think maybe the Dalek in... I think maybe the Dalek in Big Bang, or Pandorica Opens, or Wedding in River Song. This could be very one specific scene that they're putting it in the trailer to go, hey look, Cybermen are in this series, as well as Ood. Do you remember Ood? Do you remember Cybermen? Do you remember the Sontarans, the Weeping Angels? Do you remember these guys? Come and watch, you'll get to see them again. Opposed to it being like, they are the big villains of one episode here. There's 6 episodes, and I feel like the bigger focus is on the other villains and monsters and all that sort of thing, opposed to the Cybermen. Although it's great to see this design back, I really, really love the way they've done this design. Looks great. This is a great shot here. Probably after that Sontaran bloodbath of the Doctor running towards the TARDIS. Similar location as before, as I mentioned previously. We've got a dead horse there, which is kind of grim, as well as a dead soldier. Crimean War. Maybe charging the Light Brigade again. Pretty cool stuff, though. Dan falling down this tube. It's a shame I find that they're reusing a lot of shots from the first teaser. I would really like to have seen just... Not that I've got a problem with it. We get loads in this trailer, so I've not got really a huge problem with that. It's just a shame because I would like to have seen something in that instead of this. Close-up shot of Jodie. Not really much to talk about there. Interesting shot here. So Jodie falling through this sort of like purple vortexy kind of thing. A lot of people theorising that this was... kind of like the boundary that the Timeless Child fell through in the Timeless Children, the big purple vortex thing that was above the boundary. That actually was the boundary, wasn't it? Something like that, maybe. So that's potentially something. Yeah, that could be something to do with that. Again, I don't doubt that they're going to do some Timeless Children stuff. We've got Yaz and Dan here in the same scene where Dan was sort of breaking some news to Yaz. And Yaz reacting quite, like, scared there, so maybe something's just happened to the Doctor. This is interesting. You can see what looks to be, I think this is the Doctor here. This looks to be Mary Seacole, I think, and this is some sort of Crimean War general, and you've got these Sontaran ships in the background, all of which are blowing up. So this is going to be a brilliant moment, I think. This is going to be right at the end of episode 1 or 2, when the Sontarans are well and truly defeated by... the Doctor and friends or whatever, and that's going to be that. Interesting that Yaz and Dan aren't in this shot, though. And that's your Doctor Who Flux fix. That's my breakdown of it, I would say. I'm not really entirely sure about what things specifically are happening here. I think the trailer's good. I think it's a good trailer. I think it shows a lot, but just enough to keep you excited without it being too over the top or ridiculous or anything like that. I think it's a really solid effort, and I really like it. I prefer the trailers and the marketing from Series 12. The music, the style of it, the editing of the Series 12 trailers was a lot more engaging for someone like me personally. But it's not the end of the world. This is great stuff. It's maybe a little... It's almost feels too little too late, but it's good. It's 2 weeks until the series drops. I'm excited for it. This trailer gives away enough, but I feel like I know nothing about the story, and that is the best feeling going in. So, yeah, that's pretty good.